No, oh, I was sitting and he's like,
we're going to wait a couple more minutes, but I just want you to know one of the traditions at RHAM, it's true for anything we do with parents, both middle school and high school, just to give you a heads up, is we take a picture of the crowd so we know who's sitting all the way in the back and who's sitting all the way in the front, because it tends to be familial. We do not hold that against your child whatsoever. We will start in a couple of minutes, so you can go ahead and have your conversation. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think quite a few people here. I have to say it's really nice to see everybody in front of me and not have to do this into a screen 500 times as a video. Ms. Bell and I think, spent about 4 days worth of video torture trying to put this presentation together last year, because every time you make one mistake on the video, it catches your expression and everything while you're sitting there in front of the camera. So for the last 2 years, this is really a pleasure to be here. I know this is being recorded for folks that can't be here tonight, so hopefully they don't have to see the 500 edits. But I do want to welcome parents and friends to the RHAM Middle School 6th or 7th grade parent orientation. I'm Michael Cerusti, principal here at RHAM Middle School. The presentation is going to provide you with an overview of the programming and opportunities your child will have here at the middle school. How many of you are first-time parents of a middle schooler? Oh, yeah. Well, you are in for a treat. As I told somebody today, as a father and a stepfather of 9 children, I can tell you firsthand that the changes your child will go through over the next couple of years. They're always hungry, sometimes they're moody, some of them are video game addicted, maybe even shopping addicted. This is all normal and hormonal, and that they will emerge eventually as young adults ready to challenge the world and to create a future for themselves. Often we ask, what is a middle school itself? It's not simply a grade 7-8 configuration, but rather a philosophy that emphasizes student support and achievement. We are the bridge between the small setting of the elementary schools and the largeness of the high school. We help students ease their way into adulthood by helping them become accustomed to managing their own time, participating in after-school activities and doing homework for 5 core subjects and 2 unified arts classes. We teach the whole child. We're always mindful that these are 12 to 14-year-olds who are emotional and are going through the largest growth spurt since infancy. As what happened to me, I had one child, he entered 7th grade at 5'5", and he emerged at 6'3". Doesn't happen too often. Middle schoolers are part child and part adult. They're often both at the same time. They really insist on their independence while needing a tight structure. They are highly energetic and can be a real challenge for both parents and teachers. Unlike the old junior high models, middle schools reduce the largest of the school by creating small learning communities or teams. Teams consist of about 75 students, which are like supportive families. Through the team structure, we attempt to teach your child organizational skills, study skills, note-taking, and time management skills that will help them in their future educational careers. We also help them develop their social skills and to learn how to adapt to the personalities of 8 teachers every day. Of course, we hold them to rigorous standards in all of their subjects. But you will hear more about teaming later. I want to leave you tonight with sort of one last thought. Please remember that we cannot do this alone. We are all partners in your child's academic and social growth and development. It must be stressed that we are all partners in helping your child achieve their full potential. And from experience, we know that success is based on good communication between students, you the parents, and your child's teachers. So please get involved, ask questions, come to parent meetings, volunteer, or simply email or call when you have a concern. Success is also the result of high quality teaching, which results in long-term learning. Our teachers at RHAM Middle School are an awesome bunch. They make learning fun and interesting every day. They help kids discover rather than memorize. They connect the meaning between subjects, and they are truly preparing students to be lifelong learners and global citizens. And on that note, I thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentation, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bell to talk about transitions.
Good evening, everyone. I am Carrie Ann Bell. I'm the assistant principal here at RHAM Middle School. I was just in your shoes just a few years ago. I transitioned both my boys in and just recently out of middle school. They're now in high school, so I've been in your shoes. It is a very exciting, I'm sure a little nerve-wracking time for you and your kids. We are very excited to have all 3 towns. We have our Andover, Hebron, and Marlboro come into us, and we become one community, one school as RHAM. We have quite a few different transition activities, both for you and your children, to help ease that transition. We know it's a big one between elementary and middle school. Just last week, we got to visit each of the elementary schools. Hebron was virtual. We did get to go into Marlboro and Andover. We got to have a presentation with some of our guidance staff, and we kind of showed them a little slideshow similar to this, but a little bit for them about what middle school is like. Showed them some pictures of different areas around the school, like the cafeteria, the gymnasium. We talked about different activities we have, the courses we have, so they got a little flavor of kind of what is to come for middle school. Tonight we have this orientation for you to kind of again go about telling you some of the different things we have here at our school, and you kind of get understanding of how our middle school works. Your children will then come visit us in May. I believe it's about the second week of May. They get to come in. They will do tours. We'll have some of our 7th and 8th graders show them around the school, show them some of the different specific areas like the office, the gym, the nurse, the library, guidance suite, and so on. We'll get to kind of pop in maybe some classrooms and kind of just check out what the school is like and get a chance to ask some more questions. Then in the summer, they get their schedules. They will probably come out around mid-August. I am sorry for those of you that go on vacation that week. It is a very stressful time when they know it's in the mailbox and you're like in Cape Cod or in the Caribbean or wherever you may be. But we will help you get through all that, but they start texting their friends or what team they're on. And they get to look at their schedules, see how it works our 8-period day. And then we are welcoming them to come into the school as much as they want. Our middle school is generally open every day. They come as many times as they need to kind of walk their schedule, try out their locker. I know the combination can be a little tricky for them, so that's sometimes the most nerve-wracking thing for them. But we have 2 specific days which we call walk-around days, and those are on the 16th and the 25th. On those days, we actually have school counselors available if they have some questions about their schedule or some different needs they may have. We usually have students here again to give some more tours, to help walk them around or answer some of maybe those specific questions about their schedule. These days, we sometimes have some of our teachers are kind of coming in on those days of work because they know the kids will be in the building. I know Dr. Struess and I love to walk around and just meet some of you, meet some of your kids as they come in. We get to see our 2B 8th graders and talk with them about their summers. But again, come in anytime, but those 2 are 2 great specific days that they might have extra people here to help them out. Then we have our first day of school. We start on a Thursday, September 1st. And usually the first 2 days of school are kind of just to get to know your team, get to know what a team is, know your teachers, see some friends, get to meet some new people, and we do a team building day usually on that Friday as well. And a lot of that is just a lot of get to know you activities, again, meeting new people. I know like Andover is very small, Marlboro's probably in the middle, Huron's a little bigger, so again, we shuffle these kids together. And we want them to kind of meet new people and kind of get that exciting feeling of meeting their teachers and new friends as well. Then in September we do a dance just for 7th grade. We were unfortunate not to be able to do this the last couple of years, so we are excited to have it back. And this is a 7th grade dance after school, and we get a great DJ who does music and dances and games with them, and it's just a great time for them to see their old friends, introduce some of the new friends, and really get to know each other on that day. And then finally, we have an open house for you, which is usually around the end of September. We don't have a date yet. It's usually the end of September, where again, think you'll be able to come in the building, hope you can come in the building, where you can kind of walk around your child's schedule, meet your team of teachers, kind of they talk about a little about their classroom and what their classes are like. Again, we haven't been able to do that the last couple of years, so we're hopeful that will happen again. It's really nice to see live people in front of us. It's been, we know it's been a long couple of years for all of us. We're really starting to get back to that normalcy. It's been a fun year this year to see our kids and get them back in school and hopefully do some things. Might end the year with a dance or 2. I know they'll be excited. But these are a lot of transition activities we have for you because again, we know this is a big jump. We're very excited to meet your children, welcome them into our school and our community. It's going to be a great couple of years here for them and you. I'm now going to turn it over to Christy Chalky, one of our school counselors, who's going to talk about what it is to be a school counselor and what they do.
Our goal as school counselors is to help students succeed in areas of academics, social emotional wellness, and career development. We provide individual academic planning and goal setting. We teach classroom lessons based on student need and relevant topics. We collaborate with families, teachers, administrators, and the community for student success, and we work with students in individual and small group setting on a variety of social and emotional topics. Here to talk more about student expectations is my co-counselor, Alicia Dove.
Super scripted, so bear with me. So student expectations. Once kids come into a middle school, we really try to start working with them on becoming independent learners. Really realizing the importance of school and their academics in their world and how important it should be to them. We also like to help them become some strong self-advocates. Sometimes coming in, they've had that one teacher all day long, so it's a lot easier to advocate for yourself, but once you throw 7 more teachers in the mix, it gets a little harder. So we really try to work with them on those self-advocating skills, especially if they miss a homework assignment or they miss a day of school, reaching out to their teachers and asking for the work they missed and things like that, which leads me to homework. Your kids are going to get homework. I know they probably get a little bit now with COVID. I know there's far less homework, but they're going to get homework in middle school. It's going to happen. So you should plan on having homework every night. We really encourage kids to have a structured time, good time management. We work with them on that. We know they come in and that's a hard thing for them. So as school counselors, we do, and teachers actually, we work with them to build those schedules after school. What should your after school schedule look like so you can get your homework done in a manageable way? Whether you're in sports or not, you're going back home, how long of a break do you take? But those are also things that we like to teach them in middle school while they're here, while we have our hands on them. Organization, time management is totally key. Your kids are going to be more involved in middle school probably than they were in elementary school. You factor in the sports, the clubs, and all that. So it gets a little tricky to juggle. So absences. So when they are absent, if the student knows they're going to be absent ahead of time, it's actually really nice for the teachers to know as far in advance ahead of time as possible so they can start gathering work for them if possible. If they are absent unexpectedly due to an illness, family emergency, or something like that, again, we like them to become self-advocates, reach out to their teachers, ask for the work that they missed. They can even do it via email if they feel weird about going face-to-face with the teacher and asking for that stuff. But definitely when they're absent, asking for that missed work and finding out what they need to do to get caught up. Naviance, we do use Naviance. Naviance is a program that's going to be used from the time your child starts here in middle school, and it carries with them all the way through high school, so they'll have that same account, that same login, and it actually is a place where we house their student success plans. So they'll do some activities with us, like the school counselors are in the classrooms doing career lessons. We'll do lots of mini lessons throughout the year that help build that student success plan, and most of it, the vast majority of it, gets housed in Naviance. There's some interest inventories, things like that they'll do in Naviance. But once they get into high school, again, that carries with them their Naviance account. That's what they're going to use, the platform they're going to use for some college searching, the college application process, for looking for college scholarships. So it really does follow them through. And the next slide, so correct information is essential. So we want you to be well informed. We want your student to be well informed. We try to do that in various ways. Ms. Schiffer is going to talk a little bit more about that next, but the RAPTOR report comes out weekly. I think you guys got a RAPTOR report already, created just for you guys, which is pretty cool in that. But there will be one weekly that goes out to families. So that's a great way to see what's going on in our school, what we're doing, and to stay well informed. But I'll let Ms. Schiffer carry on the rest.
So, good evening. I am Julie Schiffer. I am the Red Team leader. And tonight, I would like to talk about some resources that will be available to you. One resource you have as a parent is the team website, which is also located where the Unified Arts website is. If you go to the RHAM Middle School homepage, there's a tab for teams, and all the teams will be listed and the Unified Arts. So that's a great resource for homework and other general information pertaining to that particular team. The next thing is Google Classroom is used to convey daily assignments for each teacher. The classroom contains links to various resources which are used, examples being Google Documents, Google Slides, electronic resources that the teacher may use. Attendance. If your child is going to be absent, there are a few ways to communicate this. On the RHAM Middle School homepage, there's a link under the Parents tab titled Attendance Report form. With this, an absence can be reported. Another method to report is to call the school, but if you use that method, then a note has to come in with the student when they return from the absence. Parent Portal is a great resource to monitor your child's progress. This would show their schedule, their grades, the report card, attendance report, and the information for this would be coming out for you mid-September. And if during the year there are any questions, please feel free to contact your child's school counselor about access to that resource. Also, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to the teachers. We are all in this together, and we would like to help however we can. Thank you. Up next is Kristen Lynch to discuss teams.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Lynch. I'm the Gold Team Science teacher and team leader, and I'd like to speak to you about what a team is here at the middle school and the advantages of having teams. A team is made up of a set group of teachers and students. In general, all of the students on one team have the same teachers for their core classes. That's English, math, social studies, science, and reading. All the students on a team have their lockers in a pod or a common location near their core classrooms, and the students in each class are a mix of students from that same team. We found that there are many advantages to having teams in middle school. Teachers on the same team have one period each day where they're able to meet all together. During this time, we're able to discuss student issues and concerns and brainstorm ideas to solve any problems we may be experiencing in our classrooms. Sometimes something is working really well for a student in one classroom, and if we share that information, we can transfer that strategy to other classes. Because we meet daily, we're able to discuss our lesson plans and integrate curriculum between the different subjects. We check in with one another when we're planning tests and quizzes so we can avoid too many on any one day. The team has a website that Mrs. Schiffer mentioned, where homework is posted for the entire week by the end of the day on Monday. Students can use this to keep track of their homework, and parents can also see this website. Some families find it helpful to print and post the homework page on Monday evening so that work can be checked off throughout the week as it's completed. Because we have a common meeting period each day, it allows for parent meetings to be scheduled at a time when all of the students' core teachers are available to meet. Having teams at the middle school also helps students feel that they're part of a smaller community within the school. They typically form at least one really strong connection to a teacher on the team that they feel they can relate to, which gives them a contact person if they're having issues that they need to discuss. We try to plan some fun whole team activities a couple times a year as well. Because students on one team have classes together, it gives students good opportunities to form new friendships with students that they may not know well from their own town, but also to make some new friends from the other two towns. Now I'd like to introduce Heidi Byrne from the Inquiry team. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Heidi Byrne. I'm a math teacher on the Inquiry team. I'm also the team leader for Inquiry. Just to tell you a little bit about it, Inquiry is one of the other teams in the middle school, but we're a little bit unique. We're like a school within a school. Students apply to be part of this team. And there's some unique things about our team. One of them is that we have one period of our day, which is Genius Hour, and this is really an independent time for students to pick something they're passionate about and to research about it, to learn about it, and then to present. So we learn all kinds of amazing things. We've learned about, the different muscles and groups that are used when you're fencing. We've learned how to code, how to build your own computer. What did we learn? We learned how to speak Romanian last week. Little bits and pieces. These are the kinds of things that our students are learning. It's really kind of an amazing part of our day. We do have a slightly flexible schedule, which means that we can kind of group our science and math kids together if we have a special event, or if we have a speaker coming in, or if we need to, sometimes our social studies and English teachers do some projects together, and so they kind of team teach during that time. A lot more project-based curriculum, so these kids are doing lots of projects, lots of options. Every class has those options. More interdisciplinary focus. The other teams do a great job with this as well. And real focus on independent learning and critical thinking. Our kids have some opportunities to really put those skills to the test. And the one thing that is the same with all the teams is we all are meeting the same Common Core learning standards. So our kids walk out the door with the same skills as they do on all the other teams. And if you have questions about it, see me later. And so I'm going to introduce to you now Angela Shabazian, who's going to tell you about our Unified Arts.
Good evening. I'm Angela Shabazian, and I'm the team leader for the Unified Arts Department and one of the Spanish teachers here at the middle school. This evening, I would like to give you a perspective on the Unified Arts program, courses, and opportunities that are available to your child at RHAM Middle School. Our Unified Arts program provides students with an introduction to the fundamentals of various subjects like art, general music, technology education, physical education, health, personal wellness, and world language. These courses are taken in quarterly rotations with the exception of physical education, 7th grade world language, and art foundations, which means two quarters. Band and chorus are full-year courses, and students may elect to participate in both performing groups if they so choose. 8th grade world language is also a full-year course where students continue developing their skills in the language of their choice, either in Spanish, French, or Latin. Some Unified Arts courses, like Art Foundations and 8th grade world language, provide students with a unique opportunity to earn high school credit upon successful completion. The skills students gain in their Unified Arts courses in the middle school allow students to be exposed to more advanced elective opportunities at the high school level. As you can see in the chart provided, there will be 3 periods of Unified Arts classes in your child's schedule next year. For one of the periods, students will take PE for half of the year and world language for the other half. For another period, students will take 1 quarter of computer sciences and 1 quarter of health. They will have the opportunity to take either general music or personal wellness for 1 quarter and a choice between art or digital art for additional quarter. For the final period, students can be in both band or chorus or be in one or the other accompanied by an intervention. An intervention is essentially a study hall where students can do some of their work from the day and go seek help from some of their teachers. All skill levels are welcome and encouraged to join band and chorus. Our music teachers are more than happy to help your children improve upon their skills and help them feel comfortable and confident participating in ensembles often. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have the opportunity to fully explain in greater detail each of the Unified Arts courses. However, you may find descriptions of each in the handout provided this evening if you're interested in learning more about the various Unified Arts courses that are offered here at RHAM Middle School. Feel free free to reach out to either myself or any of the Unified Arts teachers if you have any questions on specific programs. I would like to now turn it over to our purple team leader, Amy Bolas, who will be discussing SRBI. Thank you.
I am the purple team leader in the 8th grade, and what I'd like to talk with you about tonight is the what ifs that might happen here in middle school. When your student arrives here, as Mrs. Lynch mentioned, they come to a team. During that team time, we are able to discuss students that we see that are excelling. We're also able to identify students that might be having a little bit harder of a time, and that is where SRBI comes into play, which is just a fancy acronym for scientifically research-based interventions. So what you'll notice when your student comes in, they might come home that first month and they might say, oh my gosh, we took a reading test. Oh my gosh, we did this and that. And what those are benchmark assessments or baseline assessments, which give us a sense for where your student is academically coming into middle school. Once we have that data, once we see how they perform in classes, we might notice that your student needs a little bit of extra help. And so what you can also see here are what are called the tiers of interventions. Tier 1 interventions are typical things that you might expect in class. Re-explaining directions, a little bit of extra one-on-one time, maybe potentially the student coming back during intervention lab time to get a little bit of extra help. However, sometimes students need a little bit of additional focused help, and that's where we might contact you as a team and suggest a Tier 2 intervention. And that would be something a little bit more specialized. Maybe it's a specialized math intervention lab, maybe it's additional literacy help, something designed and developed by the team to help your student achieve to the levels that you and us both know that they are capable of. Should the struggles continue, we can go up to a Tier 3 intervention, which would be very specific one-on-one supports that we would put in place for your child. This is a process that is developed within the team, with our guidance counselors, with administration, to help your student to, again, achieve the success that we know they are capable of. We might contact you via email or by letter saying, you know, we're implementing this intervention, this is the goal that we have in mind for it, and then every 2 weeks after that, we review your student's progress. The intervention works, fantastic, we can pull back. But then if we see the intervention is working, but the student is continuing to need help, we continue with that intervention. So we do want to let you know that your student is in very good hands once they get to us, that if there are struggles, if there are challenges that are new to them in middle school as they are encountering more complex ideas and tasks, that they do have a safety net here with us and that we will make sure that they are doing just fine. I'd like to turn it over to Nancy Aniolik in our nurse's office.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Nancy Aniolik and I am one of the nurses here at RHAM. We will be learning about health requirements for the incoming middle school students. The first topic is immunizations. The following immunizations must be given to your child prior to entering the 7th grade. A second vaccine against measles, 2 doses of the varicella vaccine, also known as chickenpox, or documentation of the disease, an adolescent Tdap booster vaccine, and 1 dose of the meningococcal vaccine. Physical examination requirements. Every middle school student must have a physical examination completed in either their 6th or 7th grade year. Your child's physical examination must be dated on or after July 1st, 2021, which is the date they officially became a 6th grader, up until June 30th, 2023, which is the end of their 7th grade year. Sports participation physical examinations. Physical examinations for sports must be less than 13 months old during the sports season. For example, if your child is playing a spring sport, which goes from March to June, and their physical examination expires in April, they will need a new physical examination to cover the rest of the spring sports season. Registration for sports will be done through a website called Family ID. The athletic director, Dan Trudeau, will send out an email with information about the registration process. There is information which will need to be filled out by you and your child. And you can also upload your recent physical examination onto the Family ID website. Your child's cumulative health records will be sent to RHAM Middle School after your child is promoted from 6th grade. We will receive your child's record sometime in July. There is a wonderful administrative assistant in the middle school nurse's office over the summer in case you have any questions. Her name is Melissa Shellquist, and her contact information was at the bottom of the slide. Anyway, just call the main number at the middle school and ask for the nurse's office. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Kara Dwyer, 8th grade English teacher on the green team and team leader. Middle school is a great time to get involved. We really encourage your kids, since they are coming from 3 different towns and really getting to know new people, if they get involved with an after-school club or activity or sporting event. We do have a variety of activities, such as environmental club, math club, card club, Lego League, GSA, just to name a few. Studies do show that research suggests that participation in extracurricular activities does increase students' sense of engagement and their attachment to their school, and also decreases the likelihood of failure. Participation is also linked to increased well-being and a sense of belonging. Last but not least, I also want to mention that we also have a variety of after-school activities that provide extra help. So if your child is struggling with math or with a writing assignment, once a week they can stay after with the teacher in that subject area to get extra help, regardless of whether or not that teacher is on the same team. So sometimes it's really nice to go to a different English teacher and hear if they have a different way of approaching a writing assignment. We also, if students schedule ahead of time, teachers are happy to stay after to provide extra help. Thank you. That is Alicia Gordon.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our counselors and the counseling support that we do provide at the middle school. Within our guidance office, it's kind of cool. We have our own space that's called guidance, and within that space are the school counselors, the 3 school counselors, but we also have some other people there as well. We have somebody from RHAM who is actually housed in our building and has an office in guidance. She sees students for some group counseling, small group counseling, and individual counseling, but she's housed with us too, and that's Emily. Well, we call her Miss B because if you look at her last name, it's really hard to pronounce. Some kids call her Emily, but she's there with us. We also have a social worker, and that's Dee Dee Dan Dan, and she is also there to provide some extra support for students who might need more regular counseling services within the school day. And then we also have 2 school psychologists. Ms. Castillo-Blaine and then Holly Bevan are also held in guidance as well. They do some individual counseling, group counseling, testing for kids that might be referred to special ed or need their triennial testing done. They do a lot. So all of us are housed in one space, which is great because there's a lot of communication among all of us, but we also actually sit in on team meetings. The school counselors are at least 1 or 2 team meetings a week with our team of teachers. 1 school counselor is assigned to each team. And then the other people support services attend team meetings as regular as they can or as needed if they need to communicate anything about students. And the other thing that we try to do is we try to communicate, if a student has an outside therapist as well, we try to communicate with them so we're all on the same page. But we need parent permission for that. So if we ever ask you for a release for the outside therapist, that's what we're looking for, just so we can kind of stay on the same page and better support your child. We're here for you. Primarily we're here for your students, but we want to work with you together as a team to help support your kids as best we can throughout middle school. Communication is key again. If something's going on at home, if something's going on with your kid, if they come home super stressed out night after night about how much homework they have, if they're having some anxiety, let us know. We can't do anything about it unless we know. So communication is super important. So just keep us up to date and we'll try to do the same for you.
There we go. Okay. Just a couple things. Thank you, Alicia, for filling in, and thank you, Nancy, also for filling in. We're looking for a new school nurse this year. Reaching out to the nurses, staying home to raise a family. Wonderful for her. First day of school is always a big question. September 1st, Thursday. Kids, come quick enough. You won't believe how fast the summer will go. If you ever have any questions, I know in the audience here I relied on a couple of people, Jessica Rainville and Melissa Shellquist. Both will be in the office over the summer. Melissa works in the nurse's office, and Jessica works in the main office as my assistant. Gail Bollier, who you probably met or heard from numerous times about the registrations, she's in the guidance office. And that team is here, myself included, and Ms. Bell is in and out over the summer. So please, if you have any questions over the summer, please let us know, either through email or give us a call. If we're away, we'll get back to you once we get back. No problem. One of the last things is you each should have picked up a packet. In that packet is some information along with the math placement for your child for the next school year. If you have any questions, it has an email address you can contact about that placement. I want to thank you for coming this evening. It's good to see everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you.